So, Enstars has a lot of units. We all know this. Currently, Ensemble Stars has 14 active units. But what if I told you that there are more than 14 units in Enstars lore? Sure, they may not be active anymore or may only appear from time to time, but they're still units. Many fans may venture onto the English Ensemble Stars fandom wiki, check out their favourite characters' pages, read the bio and see some names under the units section that sound unfamiliar to them. I'm here to save you. I'll give you a little rundown of these strange and elusive units that have never been brought up in officially translated stories or units and translations to come. So, without further ado, here are Ensemble Stars' past and temporary units. Wait, past and temporary units? What are those? Easy. Well, a past unit is a past unit. A permanent unit, meaning a unit that is an official one and not one made up solely for a specific event, that has disbanded. A temporary unit is a unit made for a specific event, usually appearing in a single story that focuses on the job that the temporary units are hired to do. To start things off, let's learn about the past units. The first past unit we will talk about is Ex-Fine, or Fine-O, which is what they are renamed as in Altered. The O probably stands for Origin or Original or something like that. This was the war-era Fine led by Tsumugi, featuring Eiichi, Nagisa and Hiyori. You know, the guys who defeated the 5 eccentrics/oddballs. They were formed through Eiichi asking Tsumugi to help him reform Yumenosaki, then Nagisa and Hiyori were chosen as the other 2 members, contracts were formed, and the unit was born. They were good, until the contract expired after Wataru's execution live. That was when Tsumugi asked Eiichi if the contract term about Fine disbanding was serious, and Eiichi was basically like, Tsumugi, it's a contract, of course it's serious, you signed the terms. Long story short, this is why you should read important contracts. For more context, check out my war videos. Anyway, Ex-Fine, aka Past Fine, aka Fine-O, currently have 2 songs, Genuine Revelation and Dawning Angels. It's unknown if they had any other songs or if their only song during the war era was Genuine Revelation, since Dawning Angels was made for the event in the Altered story. I'd like to imagine that they had more because they sound quite good together. Speaking of Altered, let's talk about the other featured unit. Now, the 5 eccentrics/oddballs/Gokijin were never actually an official unit until the events of Altered. They were basically all just lumped together by the student council as a group of guys, but not specifically a unit. Though I'll count them as a unit. In the Altered story, they call themselves Altered, like the story, so that is technically their official unit name. Anyway, despite popular belief, Altered only have 1 song that they actually performed, which is Twilight's Pentagram. Some of you may be asking, but what about Eccentric Party Night? Well, actually, Eccentric Party Night is what I'd like to call the song that never happened. Eccentric Party Night is implied to be included in Natsume's script for an eccentric victory in the war that he tried to get Wataru to follow during his execution life before being rejected. What form the song actually takes is unknown. We don't know if Natsume fully composed the song with a music score, lyrics and line distribution, or if he just had a concept written down. All we know is that the Eccentrics never sang it, which is sad, but also pretty cool that the wizards at Happy Elements actually made the song so we could have an idea as to what the Eccentrics sounded like together. But now we have Twilight Pentagram as well, so that's extra cool. Moving on to the next unit now, and it's none other than Ex-Valkyrie, the war era one that also included former leader of Rabbits, Naza Nanito. Their music style is basically the same as the current Valkyries, but with a lot more angst and tension behind the scenes. We all know the drill. Shu was a control freak, Nazuna was hitting puberty, and Mika was falling over mid-practice. Nevertheless, the unit was really successful before the war, and they are extremely popular in the fandom itself. Ex-Valk has 2 songs that we know of, Seishon and Yugi and Sajo no Rokaku, but I'm assuming that they had other songs as well. Though, canonically, Mika didn't really sing during the Ex-Valk era, just dancing, but he sings in the actual recordings that we have, since I suppose you can't really translate dancing into a musical recording. R.I.P. Ex-Valkyrie. But Shu and Nazuna's divorce was definitely for the best. This might be a sore subject for a lot of you, though it's been over a year. Double Face can now be considered a past unit since they also divorced. Since they were a present unit in double exclamation mark era, they do have a pretty hefty discography, so all of the Double Face Ps can cry to their many songs as they remember their ill-fated unit. I don't know though, I think Double Face will be brought back. We can only pray. Now for a unit who has no songs that we know of. Renee and Nikki used to have a unit featuring just the two of them, and that's all we know. Cool. Temporary units now, and some of you may have noticed that I have conveniently missed out a certain beloved war era unit. Deadmans. Well, I am going to include them with the temporary units, since they were officially formed for one day. Deadmans, featuring Rei, Koga, Kaito and Kuro, featured in the Crossroads story, with Kaito being granted permission by Rei to make good use of him for one day and one day only, in exchange for babysitting Adonis for a week. It's a bit of a strange unit though, as fourth member Kuro's membership is a little vague. Deadmans has two songs, Death Game Holic and Rock Raw, but Kuro only features in Rock Raw. Pre-Crossroad anime adaptation, some fans might have been a bit confused. Kuro's literally depicted wearing the outfit, but he's not in Death Game Holic. Well, I have a hypothesis for this. You see, during the Deadman's performance, Kuro wasn't actually performing until partway through, when Kaito brought him onto the stage in order to try and control Rei. Again, check out my war videos for more context. Anyway, I think it's safe to assume that Death Game Holic was performed before Kuro was called onto the stage, and Rock Raw was performed after he joined. There you go, problem solved. Another war era unit I'd classify as a temporary unit is 13th Day, the unit featuring Wataru and Hokuto that performed during Wataru's live against ex-Fine, though Hokuto's identity was kept hidden so that he wouldn't be bullied. As a Wataru-P, am I salty that I have no song to judge them by? Absolutely. But we can't have everything we want in life, and a 13th Day song counts as one of those things. Though I'd like to assume that it was very theatrical, possibly like a less edgy Valkyrie. The closest thing to this we can hope for is a theatre club song as part of the Ultimate 9 series, which I am actually predicting is gonna happen. And that's it with the war units, but that's not all the temporary units we have. No. I'd say that the most famous temporary unit in the fandom is Night Killers, featuring Leo, Eiichi, Nazuna and Kuro in The King's Horseback Ride, where Leo had them go up against knights. They performed the song Crush of Judgment, eventually losing to knights, but that wouldn't be the last we'd see of Night Killers. They would soon reunite in Diner Live, since Eiichi needed to perform for the opening of a diner and thought Fine was too fancy for that task. Speaking of Diner Live, guess who comes back with another temporary unit? After all, there's no Wata-A without the Wata. That's right! Wataru felt like having a bit of fun and used the power of pestering to convince Madara, Izumi and Kaito to join him, forming the unit Dromerai, to apparently go up against Night Killers in this diner event after writing a few love letters and locking Kaito and Izumi in a box. Unbeknownst to Night Killers, Dromerai learnt their songs and surprised them with a joint performance because of the power of friendship. I've actually badly explained this story, so if you want, why not check it out? It's very funny. Music Festa now, and Wataru is back with another temporary unit. And so is Rei, with the two deciding to see which of them is the better teacher. The two each lead a group of 4 in order to create a performance out of their comfort zones, after a couple of fake fights from the two third years and poor Tori being locked in a box multiple times. The two units, Watarin team and Rei-chan team, were either cute or cool, with the Watarin team, featuring Wataru, Tori, Yuta and Shinobu, having usually cutesy characters act cool, and the Rei-chan team, featuring Rei, Midori, Yuzuru and Izumi, having usually cool characters acting all cutesy. The actual aim of this whole event was to train Tori and Midori specifically, but the little rivalry between Wataru and Rei is very cute. At this point, this video should be called something like, how many temporary units is Wataru in? Because would you believe me if I told you that he's in another one? This time he's in a duo with Nagisa, in a unit called Altissimo in the story Neverland. The premise of this is that Valkyrie are going to participate in the Japanese Neverland Cup, which is this super artistic idol competition or something like that. Wataru thinks that he should motivate Shui even further by joining the competition himself, and ropes Nagisa into it, who's also interested because the Godfather used to own the competition. The two compete as Altissimo and get disqualified from the competition because their performance was that bad. At least they had fun. Wataru has also helped to form a couple of temporary units without actually being a member of one. This is the case with the Amusement Life story, which gave us 2 temporary units with 2 Wink and Rabbits being split up for a dance battle. The blue team featured Yuta, the blue twin, alongside Mitsuru and Nazuna, whilst the pink team featured Hinata, the pink twin, alongside Hajime and Tomoya. This is also shown in the anime. Hajime followed suit and formed his own temporary unit in plum blossoms covered in snow, featuring himself, Adonis, Tomoya, Makoto and Mayoi, with the goal of filming a PV for a hotel so that Mayoi can get enough credit to graduate and not repeat his 3rd year. Given that Mayoi did eventually end up graduating, we can assume that this was a success. In Starry Nights Festival, we have another 3 temporary units, featuring our recurring serial offenders. There are 3 units which Anzu put together with Nazuna's help, again with the task of training 1st years. Wataru, Kanata and Hajime are 1, Eiichi, Nazuna and Shinobi are another, and Izumi and Tsukasa are the 3rd. The whole goal was just to train these 1st years specifically, since Shinobi and Hajime are really shy and need more confidence, and Tsukasa, I don't actually know why he's there. They literally say that he's so skilled that training with Izumi alone is more than enough for him, but hey, that's the way the story goes. Now we'll move on to Project Saga in the Rainbow Story, a project launched by Jin in order to revive older idols. These included an older idol, a 3rd year, a 2nd year and a 1st year. Of course, Jin is in one of the temporary units created for this, titled Rainbows, featuring Chiaki as the 3rd year, Hokuto as the 2nd year and Tori as the 1st year. Obviously, we can't have Jin and Akiyomi without Akiyomi, so it goes without saying that he was also in a temporary unit for Project Saga, featuring Madara as the 3rd year, Mika as the 2nd year and Sora as the 1st year, all in a unit called Barbaria. As part of the actual Saga story, Seiya also joins Hiyori and June and makes a unit called Lilith. As a bonus, we have Team Ushi Wakamaru from Wisteria, featuring Madara, Kanata, Soma and Mitsuru. This is another rare instance of a temporary unit having a song, with that song being Tsujikaze ni Fukarete. Well then, that should be it. If I've missed one out, I'm actually going to lose it. Anyway, if this video was mediocre enough for you, then please remember to like, subscribe, pray for a theatre club song, and I'll see you next time. Bye!